After my last video, I got a message from a friend of a good friend of mine. He reached out and had some questions about intimacy. He suggested that I do a video about intimacy. When to be intimate, how to be intimate. This was my first request and I really wanted to think about it. Also, to keep it real, I wanted all that election shit to pass. I knew you guys would be occupied. So here we are. Today we're going to dive in and talk all about intimacy. When and how. Intimacy by definition is closeness, familiarity, and intimate acts, especially sexual intercourse. But it's not just that. It's something you can create. For example, intimate moments are special. They're memorable. They're things that stand out when you think back. And those are the kind of moments you want to create. But sexual intercourse is simply, birds and bees. Two people getting busy. And throwing somebody over a table, bending them down and banging it out. Not quite intimacy. That's fun too. But that's not what the focus is today. And that's not intimacy. So, what is intimacy? When we're talking about intimacy, we're talking chemically, we're talking physically, we're talking emotionally. All of these things are involved in intimacy. It takes submission, it takes vulnerability, and it takes courage. Submission? Why would I submit? Well, you have to submit to be intimate. To be intimate, you've got to give yourself to the moment. You got to give it all. Everything you've got. You've got to give your focus. You've got to give your time. You've got to really be all in. And that makes you vulnerable. That's some scary shit. That means you're naked. You're naked physically and emotionally. It's all on the line, baby. Everything you got is right there exposed. And that's why it takes courage. Because you've got to be brave. You got to be bold. You got to be... All right, my bad. You have to be brave. You have to be willing to do all of those things. Because it's scary. It takes a level of courage to say, you know what? I'm putting all my chips on the table. I feel confident with this hand. No pun intended. And I'm going to go all in. And if you don't have the courage to be vulnerable and submit, it's going to be very challenging to create intimate moments. Personally, I've been in moments where I've put it all on the line. I took time to cultivate, set the tone, set the vibe with someone who it took a minute for me to build up the courage with. It took me a long time to really feel comfortable enough to take the deep dive, to dive in. And it didn't go well. Struck out. I've also been in those same kind of moments where it went all the way. Went great. I've also been in moments where I was just getting to know somebody, but the moment felt right. We had that chemistry. We were really vibing. I say, I think this is it. I'm getting the right vibes here. I feel good. Let's see what I can really do. And again, I've had both outcomes in those moments. Because really, this is harder to explain and harder to read than most think. It's not a 1-2 process. And the reality is, you will always have the possibility of being shut down. Always. You see, it takes a level of experience. You got to try stuff. You got to know stuff. You have to be able to read the room. It's a feeling as well. I mean, it's like knowing when to take a shot or knowing when to throw a pass, right? These things come through experience. There's a feeling. It's like, I got it now. You got to listen out for that feeling. You got to feel that inside. That is part of it as well. So, let's get to the good stuff. when to be intimate. When you're ready. When it appears that they're ready. And when you have the courage to do so. Here are a few tips. Tip number 1, create a vibe. Set the lights. Put on some smooth music. Do the things that create the space where someone else can feel vulnerable, can feel like they can submit, and feel like they can be brave. You want that person to be comfortable. Number 2, if you want intimacy, you must pace yourself. You can't just pounce on that thing, baby. You gotta relax. Number 3, fully give yourself to that person. Everything. Give it all to them. 4, be brave. Take the shot. Give it all you got. Be brave. Roll those dice, baby. 5, give yourself to the moment. Focus on nothing else. Tunnel vision. The moment and only the moment. 6, never force things. Make sure the person is ready. Make sure you have consent. Don't force a motherfucking thing. It has to be organic. Au natural. When to be intimate. Tip number 1. When it feels right to you. When you're sure this is it. This is the moment. I can do it now. Number 2. When you are ready to take the leap of faith. It's a leap. It's a gamble. But it has to be when you are ready. 3. When you feel the vibes and you see that the two of you are in alignment. I'm not sure what's happening right now, but I feel this. And I feel like we're in the right space together. Number 4. When they allow it. Remember, you ain't got to hit a home run on the first try. Maybe you just get the first base. Maybe tonight you can't slam dunk. Take the layup. Hit the free throw. Take what's being given. Make sure that they are comfortable enough for that moment. That they're comfortable enough to move forward. Remember that trying something with someone brand spanking new is not the same. It's going to be a little different. And remember that if you want to create intimate moments, it's a lot different than intercourse. Remember that being intimate is often more sensual than sexual.